Good morning, good afternoon, or good night, my fellow Chibits. Today, I'm here to bring all of you the weekly manga chapter review of Taizai chapter 178. Now, we get a 1 month time skip at the beginning of this chapter. So, since the events of last week's chapter, 1 month has passed since the fall of Meliodas, our main character. And it pretty much confirms that the 7 deadly sins have went into hiding. They haven't really made an appearance in the past 1 month. And also, all of pretty much the greatest heroes have fallen in Britannia. And now it's became Dark Britannia because the entire world has fallen to the Demon Clan, or the 10 Commandments. And this chapter was mainly just exposition. That's one of the best ways to summarize it. It was an exposition chapter letting us know what has happened after the events of the match between the 10 Commandments and Meliodas. And it's kind of, kind of jarring, because, Meliodas is dead. There was pretty much saying that he's gone. And, no mention of Bon, which that was very strange. So it's not yet confirmed if Bon is alive or not. But there is, speculation that it's possible he could be alive. But there's also theories that he could be dead. Because we do know high-class demons can kill Bon. And we've never seen Bon regenerate from being completely eradicated altogether. We don't know if he can regenerate like someone like maybe Boo or Cell can. So that's the main thing I'm getting at. There is a possibility Bon could be permanently damaged if he does heal. Now, one of the main interesting things that a couple of Chibits mentioned in the comments last week, which I want to bring into this video, is that there is a possibility Meliodas will come back. And that is a possibility. Meliodas could come back. We have seen revivals done before in the 7 Deadly Sins. It's not something new. It's not a new concept at all. We know since the very beginning of Taizai, Bon has been on a quest to try to bring back his girlfriend Elaine. He's wanted to bring back his lover. That's been one of the main goals he's set out to do since the beginning of the series. And that's not something we all haven't been aware of. We've known he wants to do that. He's been trying to find out a way to save her. And very recently, he got to be reunited with her, get to talk with her, but it was just, for a little while, and then she eventually had to go once, Scylla died. So the main thing is throughout the entirety of Taizai, he's been tracking down to bring someone back, and a couple of Chibits were saying there is a possibility, since Meliodas is now dead, and Elaine is now gone as well, once again, there might be a decision that Bon has to make if he is still alive. A decision to where he either has to bring back his best friend Meliodas, or he brings back Elaine. One of the other two that could possibly happen. So, Bon is given a decision, a very difficult decision, to choose which one does he want to bring back, and that's the sad part, because he can only bring back one person, and if he can only bring back one person, who will he choose? Will he choose his best friend, or will he choose his girlfriend? That's one of the biggest things you have to wonder about if that does, in fact, happen in Taizai. But enough of that, though. So, the contents of this chapter. Actually, I really like the way this chapter was, kind of set up, really. It just goes to show you how dark the country is. The entire world has went to shit because the 7 deadly sins are no longer there. No human could stand up against the might of the 10 Commandments. They're just overpowering everyone, and how everybody is actually even willing to sacrifice their strongest, heroes. For instance, you have to regular villagers are sacrificing the Holy Knights just to continue on living just for 3 months. That just goes to show you how dire the situation is, because we get to see where 2 Holy Knights, which we actually have met in the past, and I'm willing to bet majority of you Chibits have forgotten, but the 2 Holy Knights that were featured without any armor in this chapter and were on the run, those 2 were the 2 Holy Knights that we saw at the beginning of Taizai that Meliodas, Diane, and Elizabeth fought. Remember Ruin? The armor? It was even at the beginning of the anime. You saw the Holy Knights going up against the 7 deadly sins, a couple of our 7 deadly sins. It was right before Bon's introduction, too, if I'm correct. Yeah, it was right before he was really introduced, or, freed from the prison, or he freed himself. It was right before that. So now you can all kind of understand what type of meaning these 2 Holy Knights really had in the series and where they came from. It's just they didn't have their armor on. And they got really upset when I saw them die, because now seeing them without their armor, they look pretty damn badass. And I'm sad to see them both die like they did, but it also goes to show you once again the dire situation of the kingdom, because you have to where the entire villagers that can't fight for themselves, and they can't stand up to the demons, they're willing to give up anyone they can, stronger opponents, to feed to the demons, for they can live for another 3 months. So it's a very sad moment throughout the entirety of this chapter, because no one could really stand up. The entire world has changed, and the only person at this time that could really stand up is at the end of the chapter, which is Arthur, King Arthur. And I like that, because we know Arthur has been built up, like, since the, the introduction of his character. We know he has a lot of power. He's like a baby. He doesn't really use his power to the fullest. He's not at his max potential yet, but it's been talked about a lot in the past, especially when, Hendrickson and King Arthur fought. Now getting to see him kind of taking the spot as the main character, I'm a little bit excited for that. I'm really excited to see King Arthur as, like, the main character for a while until Meliodas pops back up. If he does come back, if there is a possibility he might, it might not if, Bond decides to choose a lane, or if Bond is actually dead. So, one thing, though, that I think many might have missed with this chapter as well, is that there was the children shown once again. And many, if you watch the anime and you dive into the manga, you don't even know who these children are. I'm just gonna say, and this is one of my main reasons why I think I had a problem with the anime, was because they skipped one of the key arcs to Galther's introduction. And right here is a perfect example of how the anime is probably going to leave out a lot of content that would be very crucial to this very moment in the series. Because we see the three kids that our Seven Deadly Sins met in the past, multiple chapters ago, around the time they met Galther. He was introduced into the story. We get to see Peliodas. Yeah, on the bottom of this page right here, you get to see Peliodas and his friends watching what the villagers are doing, sacrificing the holy knights to continue on living. So most likely these children might have a role to play in this arc as well. Maybe, they might try to find out where the Seven Deadly Sins are or something. They have some role to play for them to be shown after such a long time. They definitely have an importance to the series. So, chapter overall, I'm really excited to see where it goes. I mean, we get to find out that the Ash Demons, or the Gray Demons, they can actually speak. They can actually talk human tongue. They don't just speak demon. They actually could speak in English to where they can communicate with humans. And that right there, that got me. I was like, holy shit, so they can really communicate. They really have that high intelligence. And just to see how, King Arthur was fighting them and all that, it's really badass building up his character. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. You all have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.